The city stood tall, its skyscrapers piercing the sky, a testament to human resilience and ingenuity. It was a beacon of hope in a world gone mad, a sanctuary amidst the chaos that had engulfed the land. People traveled for miles, enduring hardships and dangers to reach its safety. They came with dreams of a better life, seeking solace and security. Inside the walls, they found refuge from the dangers outside. The city offered protection, a shield against the turmoil that raged beyond its borders. It offered a chance to rebuild, to start anew. It was a place where hope was not just a word, but a tangible reality. It offered a future, a promise of better days to come. But even within these walls, challenges remained. The city was crowded, teeming with life. Resources were scarce, and every day was a struggle to make ends meet. Tension simmered just below the surface as people vied for limited resources and space. The pressure was palpable, a constant undercurrent of unease. The arrival of so many newcomers brought its own set of problems. The city was a melting pot of cultures and backgrounds, each with their own needs and desires. The city, for all its promise, was a powder keg waiting to explode. The tension in the streets was a constant reminder of the fragile peace that held the city together. And Do-hyuk, the hero who had brought them this far, knew it. He stood overlooking the city, determined to find a way to keep the peace and fulfill the promise of hope that the city represented. The city had two groups, the old inhabitants and the new arrivals. The city was a melting pot of cultures and histories, but the tension was palpable. The old inhabitants had been there longer. They had seen the city through its ups and downs, and they felt a deep connection to its streets and buildings. They believed they had more rights. They felt a sense of ownership and entitlement that was hard to shake. They wanted the newcomers to know their place. Food was running low. The scarcity of resources only heightened the tension. The old inhabitants hoarded what they could. They hid food in secret places, away from the prying eyes of the newcomers. They didn't want to share with the newcomers. Arguments broke out. The streets echoed with the sounds of heated debates and confrontations. Fights erupted in the streets. The clashes were not just verbal. They often turned physical, leaving many injured. The situation was growing dire. Desperation hung in the air, and the city's future seemed bleak. Do-hyuk knew he had to act fast. He couldn't stand by and watch the city tear itself apart. The city's survival depended on it. Every moment counted, and every decision was crucial. He had to find a way to unite the people. He needed to bridge the gap between the old and the new, to foster a sense of community. He had to remind them that they were all in this together. Only by working together could they hope to overcome the challenges they faced. Do-hyuk started organizing meetings, encouraging dialogue, and promoting understanding. Slowly, the walls of mistrust began to crumble. The city began to heal, one step at a time. The old and new inhabitants started to see each other not as rivals, but as neighbors. A new dawn was breaking for the city. Together, they could build a future where everyone had a place.
People of the city, listen to me. Gather around and hear my words. I know these are hard times, times that test our spirit and resolve, but we must stand together. In unity we find strength. We must find unity in our struggle. Together we can overcome any obstacle. We must hold on to hope. Hope is our beacon in the darkness. There is a future where we can all thrive, a future where our dreams become reality.
And then, he revealed his trump card, the moment everyone had been waiting for, the orb of the divine tree. It glowed with an otherworldly light, a mystical artifact of immense power, power that could change their fate, a gift from a fallen god, a relic of ancient times, an object capable of miracles. The crowd gasped, their hearts filled with awe, their eyes widened in amazement. They could hardly believe what they were seeing. They had heard whispers of this artifact, legends of its power, stories passed down through generations, but to see it with their own eyes, it was breathtaking, a moment that would be etched in their memories forever. Do-hyuk raised the orb high. Its light bathed the city in a warm glow. And then something miraculous happened. The barren land around the city began to transform. Dry earth softened and crumbled. Tiny green shoots pushed their way through the soil. Within minutes, the once barren wasteland was covered in lush vegetation. The crowd watched in stunned silence. Hope bloomed in their hearts. The orb had brought life to their world. It had given them a chance to rebuild, to survive, to thrive. With the immediate crisis averted, Do-hyuk knew he couldn't let chaos reign. He established rules, fair and just, for both old and new inhabitants. He created a system for distributing food. He organized work teams to rebuild the city. He made sure everyone had a role to play. Slowly but surely, the city began to heal. The old inhabitants and the newcomers started to work together. They shared their food. They helped each other rebuild their homes. They began to see each other not as enemies, but as neighbors. Do-hyuk, though weary, felt a surge of immense pride. He had saved the city from certain doom. He had brought hope and joy to its people. He had brought order to the chaos that once reigned. But his journey was far from over, not yet. The gods who had plunged the world into darkness were still out there, lurking.
I will not rest. I will not falter ever. I will continue to fight for a better future, no matter what, for myself, for the city, for all of humanity, always.
He looked up at the night sky, his gaze unwavering and full of determination. Ahead lay danger, uncertain futures, powerful enemies. But Do-hyuk refused to be daunted. He had faced impossible odds before. He had overcome every challenge thrown his way. He was unbreakable, and he would continue to fight for as long as he drew breath. The fate of the world depended on it.
The people of the city believe in me, and I will not let them down. I will lead them towards the light. I will guide them towards a brighter tomorrow, no matter the cost.
The path ahead is long and uncertain, but Do-hyuk walks with purpose and determination.